Ryse Son of Rome was a launch title for the Xbox One back in 2013 and was originally intended as a first-person Kinect-only title for Xbox 360, with its development beginning back in 2006, which is insane. The game was developed by Crytek, the guys behind the Crysis trilogy, and follows Marius, a Roman legionnaire who goes out to avenge the death of his father and eventually, you know, some backstabbing Roman crap that goes on, which usually happens. Now, first off the bat, this game graphically still holds up incredibly well. And the fact that I picked this up for $1.99 on Steam not so long ago is even better. If this game is ever on offer, I'll tell you right now, please pick it up. It is a great game. There are collectibles to find throughout each level. Each level is incredibly detailed. The combat is a lot of fun. Some people may find it repetitive after a time, but I don't personally. Repetition is a thing in video games, and people have just got to get with that. Sometimes the repetition is masked or covered up, but unfortunately, it is there. That's a game. It's a hook. It gets you in. And the combat for Ryse Son of Rome is its main feature. It is technically a tech demo for the Xbox One. I mean, I called it what it is, but it's incredibly fun. After using a combination of parrying, blocking, knocking back with your shield, and quick attacks and heavy attacks, you'll be able to then hold the right trigger and perform a execution of sorts, and depending on where you're standing or what you're doing, the executions can change. Some can be environmental, by kicking them over edges, slamming them against the wall, that kind of thing. You can chop off limbs, you can stab them through the throat. The facial animations, for the most part, there's a few that don't do anything, but for the most part, the facial animations are really, really good, and some of the best that I've still seen out of any game. You know, I believe that those AI characters are in absolute pain whilst I'm gutting them. There is the story is actually pretty cool. You come to where I live. You come to Britain and slaughter ancient Britons. I mean, to be fair, there may well be Roman blood in me. You know, I live down the road from a English town called Gloucester, which was once a Roman settlement called Glevum, and there were Roman ruins and walls and all that kind of stuff around where I live, which is really, really cool, and some mosaics left over and whatnot. So Rome is heavily integrated. I don't think that's a word, but Rome is heavily still here in the UK. There are still some Roman villas and stuff, ruins of Roman villas, of course, scattered here and there, which is pretty cool. But with this game, it just goes to show you that although some of it may be dramatic license, but the things the Romans built and did, and the stuff that you know, in terms of military, what they did was very, very impressive. But obviously they crumbled under their own weight. Now, you can also command other troops to do the old turtle shield thing to block against arrows. You do spend most of the game alone, and you do wind up in the Colosseum at one point, which is really awesome. On the note of Colosseum, there is a cooperative online mode where you fight in the Colosseum with another player against waves of enemies where the Colosseum keeps changing. I haven't found a game. I don't know how active that is, unfortunately, but the main story itself is more than worth picking up the game for like I did, like $1.99 or maybe even a $5. It is a fun game, and although there are when you're playing it, if you are heavily critical, you will spot that this was intended 100% as a launch game and a tech demo. It doesn't do anything extravagant. There is no real free roam. It's pretty much go from point A to point B and kill things, which is fine by me. There are moments where you get to climb up things and do stuff. There are also moments where you'll get to hop onto ballistas and shoot massive arrows. You can also launch spears at the enemy as well. There's obviously different difficulties if you want to challenge yourself. But if you just enjoy the visceral combat like I do, where after you bosh them, you have to press the corresponding colour. So, I use a controller to play this game. Most third-person games on PC, I use a controller for. And obviously, if it's yellow, you want to press Y or triangle if you're using a PS4 or 5 controller on PC. And then if it's, if it's blue, then it's X. Green is A. Standard stuff. Nothing too extravagant. But there is still a lot of fun to have in this hack and slash action game, and Like I said, the story's there. You can get behind him, and you can sympathize with him, and yeah, if it's a really good Roman game, and you know, there's not that many more out there, and it's still a criminal shame that there is no sequel to this game. You know, it's 10 years. It's been 10 years since this game came out. It was received very well. This game has a definite fan base. There's a lot of people, I don't know many people that talk negatively. They all say the same thing, like, yeah, it's a bit of a tech demo, but it's a solid game. And it is a solid game. And I believe it deserves a sequel. Not necessarily for Xbox to be Xbox exclusive, but to be multi-platform. But this game deserves a sequel. It's a crime that it never got one. Within the gaming world, of course. You know, it's not that much of a crime. Calm down. But, yeah. Please let me know in the comments what you think. Is Ryse Son of Rome a game that you have played, or a game you've always wanted to play? If you've always wanted to play it, I mean, well, you know, calm down, lower those expectations. Like I said, it's a glorified tech demo, but it's a good glorified tech demo. But thank you very much for watching, and I shall catch you on the next one.
Crushed to splinters! Incendiaries incoming!